Good afternoon. Welcome to the Government House weekly press briefing for the week beginning Monday, November 18th, 2019. We have with us today the Department of Agriculture. They'll be discussing some upcoming activities and initiatives that their agency is leading. I begin my briefing this afternoon discussing income tax returns. In keeping with our commitment to addressing the long-standing obligations of the government of the Virgin Islands, the Brian Roach administration is pleased to announce that the Virgin Islands Bureau of Internal Revenue has paid out an additional $9.2 million in income tax refunds to tax filers in the territory this month. The latest round of refunds comprises approximately 3,536 refunds and includes some 2017 calendar year tax returns. The administration also has an additional $11.4 million in returns scheduled to release starting November 21st, 2019. That release comprises approximately 4,345 returns and also includes 2017 calendar tax year returns. St. Croix Administrator Samuel Sanes. His office is in a collaboration with the Waste Management Authority, the Department of Public Works, the Virgin Islands Fire Service, and the Virgin Islands Police Department to conduct a previously scheduled cleanup of the towns of Frederickstead and Christiansted this week. They will begin on Thursday, November 21st, between 8 a.m. and noon. They'll have crews picking up trash and pressure washing the sidewalk on Strand Street in Frederickstead, from the Athalie Peterson Public Library to the Eliza McBean Clock Tower at Bud Hope Park. On Friday, they come to Christiansted Town, Friday, November 22nd, between the hours of 8 a.m. and 12 p.m. Crews will begin pickup of trash and pressure washing the sidewalks from Bazin Triangle to Times Square. The administrator has said that there will be no street closures or none are planned during these activities. However, the motoring public is asked to avoid parking along the streets identified for cleanup until the crews have completed the work. This effort is part of Governor Brian's VI Pride Keeping Our Islands Clean initiative to spruce up the historic town areas. Administrator Sanes and his office, in collaboration with stakeholders from government, the private sector, and residents in the community, have completed more than a dozen different cleanup efforts to include land clearing, appliance and abandoned car removal, and dump site cleanups. In October, the Office of the St. Thomas Water Island Administrator, Avery Lewis, completed a cleanup of the Savan community in Charlotte and Mali, and similarly helped residents dispose of many of those bulk items there. Governor Brian issued a supplemental budget to the Virgin Islands Legislature in September, which included $600,000 to the Department of Public Works for street maintenance and cleaning crews to conduct routine cleanup of the towns. And so this is a continuing effort for us, and so we're proud to announce that cleanup effort and those that we have planned for the future. And so we'd just like the community to be aware of those. The Department of Licensing and Consumer Affairs, in collaboration with the Department of Health Environmental Division, will host 3 educational town halls with licensed grocery retailers and wholesalers on the federal and local laws regarding food safety and quality. This is a part of their ongoing initiative that they call Educate Before We Regulate. So on St. Croix, starting tomorrow, Tuesday, November 19th, 2019, at the Governor Wang F. Louis Hospital and Medical Center, room 3. And they'll be having that town hall there from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. They also have one scheduled on the island of St. John on Wednesday, November 20th, at the Cleone Henrietta Creaky Legislative Building from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. In St. Thomas, they'll have the town hall on Thursday, November 21st, at the Property and Procurement Sub-Base Office on the first floor conference room from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. They're asking all interested persons to attend. Consumers or merchants with any questions may contact the Office of the Commissioner on St. Croix at 340-713-3522, on St. Thomas at 340-714-3522, or on St. John at 340-693-8036. For consumer-related issues, you may email the Department of Licensing and Consumer at consumerawareness@dlca.vi.gov. The Office of Management and Budget will hold its annual Fall Revenue Estimating Conference on Wednesday, November 20th, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at Yacht Haven Grand. The conference specifically will be held in a conference room located upstairs of the Blue 11 restaurant on the western end of the property. This event is open to the public. Of course, Title II of the Virgin Islands Code requires that a revenue estimating conference be held twice a year to establish a forecast, anticipated recurring and non-recurring territorial revenues that will impact the following fiscal year. For information on this event, please contact Ms. Monifa Edmonds, who is the junior analyst at the Office of Management and Budget. She can be reached at area code 340-774-0750, and her extension is 258. I'll repeat that number again. Her number is 774-0750, and that is extension 258. The Department of Public Works wants the public to know that they have issued a roadwork alert for the Main Street Enhancement Project due to the continuation of new waterline installation on Garden Street and Main Street. They have extended the end date for the detour there. The detour path is to access Garden Street. Motorists traveling west on Noragata must turn left on Fort Strada, continue past Emancipation Garden, turn right on Veterans Drive, then turn right onto Gata to Back Street. If traveling south on Garden Street, motorists must turn left on Coggins Gata to access Noragata. And for this information, you can go to the Department of Public Works website, where they regularly update the public with these various roadwork alerts. And their website is dpw.vi.gov. You can also sign up for Alerts VI, where this information is also shared to the public. I'd like to lastly remind all government employees that Friday, November 29th is not a holiday, and it is a regular working day, the day after Thanksgiving. While it is a holiday on the school calendar, government employees are required to report to work or take annual leave. So again, that is the day after Thanksgiving. It's not a holiday, it is a regular work day. While it is a holiday on the school calendar, government employees are expected to report to work or to take annual leave. That concludes my press briefing. I will ask reporters to hold questions until the latter part of our press briefing. We have the Department of Agriculture here with some announcements on some upcoming activities. So at this time, I'd like to welcome the Commissioner of the Department of Agriculture, Positive T.A. Nelson, and his team.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much, Mr. Mata. Good afternoon, everyone. The Department of Agriculture is here to give some updates of some things been going on, some activities going on at the department, and joining me today at this press conference, at this press briefing, is my Assistant Commissioner, Diana Collingwood, and my Deputy Commissioner, Khadija Blyden. Getting closer, we get in the camera here. As far as update on the Virgin Islands Department of Agriculture, we have a few new staff. We've been grateful to fill some positions, some well-needed positions. The Director of Abattoir has been replaced. That person is now Dale Jesse James. The Quality Control Officer is Mr. Damian Lang. We have a Director of Agricultural Development in St. Thomas, St. John District, Ms. Barbara Larand. Assistant Property Manager, Tafari Tisadi. We have the Urban and Community Forestry Coordinator, Mr. Khalil James. a new collection agent, Miss Shanika Matherin. We have a volunteer with the greenhouse, Mr. Wilma James, and a senior volunteer, a senior who's volunteering to the program at the Virgin Islands Department of Human Services in St. Thomas, Josephine Phillip. There is an important advisory that I must put out to the public right now, and that is regarding stolen meats. As we know, the holiday season is coming up, and we would like to remind consumers to buy local meat exclusively from known livestock farmers. At this time of the year, many animals are stolen and slaughtered in the bush, which is commonly called bush kill. It is illegal, and they are then sold to unsuspecting consumers, which could bring harm to you. We advise that any meat purchased for consumption by the general public is meat that was processed to the Department of Agriculture abattoir. Livestock farmers look forward to the holidays as an opportunity to provide a fresh, wholesome product for their customers. Some animals may have been medicated to prevent and treat disease and cannot be slaughtered for a certain period of time. Therefore, only the farmer who would have the level of insight required for determining animals that are safe for consumption. The Virgin Islands Department of Agriculture urges consumers to buy local meat products only from licensed retail livestock farmers, and we cannot emphasize that enough during this time. We cannot afford to have any type of breakout here in this territory. The abattoir schedule, the abattoir in St. Croix is up and running. The schedule is for Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, and they vary. Just call to find out what's being slaughtered when. The price per cattle is $60, $15 per pigs, $10 per sheep and goats, $2 for the plastic bag that will be needed. And you have to pick up at least 24 hours after slaughter because we have to ensure that the meats are totally frozen. The abattoir in St. Thomas work is it's being currently worked on. We're hoping to have it open soon. We can't give you a specific timeline, but repairs are being made. We have a Market Square Interagency Task Force as it relates to the Market Square in St. Thomas to regulate and control the affairs around that market. And I'm leaving some of these to be answered by your questions. Upcoming events. The St. Thomas St. John Agriculture and Food Fair is scheduled for Saturday, November 30th and Sunday, December 1st at the Bodo Farmers Market. The theme, agriculture is agri-future. The St. Croix Agriculture and Food Fair 2020, the dates are February 15th to the 17th. The theme, agriculture, trendy in 2020. This year, we're going to have on the Friday the 14th, we're planning a coal pot cook-off competition for Friday, the 14th. Additionally, there's a bee bazaar coming up this Saturday, November 23rd. It will be at the Virgin Islands Department of Agriculture grounds in number 1 Estate Lower Love. It begins at 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And a pig roast Sunday, December 8th, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. on the South Lawn at the Lorraine Shopping Center. Employment opportunities. In St. Croix, we're desperately seeking 2 butchers, 3 laborers, 2 heavy equipment operators, a diesel mechanic, a welder, and a forestry coordinator. In St. Thomas, in the very near future, we will be seeking an assistant director of the abattoir. As it relates to building agricultural capacity, we are recommending for residents of this territory to begin doing some home gardening, whether it's a rooftop gardening, a little garden plot in your yard. The purpose here is to encourage food production even at a residential level. And with your excess, you can sell to our marketing program. It is very important that we embrace this concept of sustainability by taking some responsibility on our own to produce, have a light garden around our home. You'll be surprised how much money you can save and how healthy it is to eat fresh foods out of your garden. Even if it's just some collard greens and some kale or what have you. Landscaping projects. I can't emphasize enough the value of landscape, the value of planting trees, the value of having that area in your yard, that area you can go to, and even that area in your neighborhood. We encourage you to develop your green space, and there are programs at the Department of Agriculture that can help you develop green spaces, whether it's in your neighborhood or if you have multiple acres that you might want to plant trees on, that will help you to do exactly that, and there's grants to help you to do this. We encourage environmental cleanups. We know that there is a plastic recycling program going on, but we also encourage each resident to practice recycling and reusing at home. It's important that we start to watch our consumption and particularly our waste. The Seed Savers Exchange program, that is very important. And what that is about, we're encouraging you as you eat these local fruits, that you save the seeds, you exchange the seeds with others, or you bring them to the Department of Agriculture or the botanical gardens where we can actually cultivate these seeds, grow the trees, and there's currently a tree give back program that's happening at the botanical garden where you can qualify to get 5 trees per person to plant. We are working on technical training programs with collaboration between the University of the Virgin Islands, and there's currently, I think, 2 training going on, one for pesticide that's taking place in December, and we'll tell you more about it. And we're creating collaboratives with the University of Florida and other universities off island for a master garden training program. The intent here is to get some of you seasoned individuals, some of you seasoned farmers to volunteer in helping to establishing community gardens. The Virgin Islands Department of Agriculture marketing programs, there are many, and we encourage you to look at the programs because this is where a ready market is established for those of you who are producing. Additionally, there's a SNAP EBT program. 25 farmers signed up territory-wide. Okay, we have WIC Farmers Marketing Nutrition Program, where there's some $63,000 in WIC coupons given to individuals to purchase fresh food from farmers. There's a Virgin Islands Growers Collaborative collaboration with the Harvest of the Month program. There's a Farm to Hospital program where you can qualify to sell your produce directly to the hospitals in the territory. There's a Farm to School satellite program where and this is one of the First Lady's initiatives, and the governor is very interested in seeing that the young people and the schools have farming programs established and farming gardens. There's the Marketing Service Program, which again, we purchase the produce directly from the farmers, and this gives you a ready market. Many farmers have been challenged with having waste or spoilage. With a ready market, that solves your problem. Upcoming initiatives include the Backyard Farmers Town Hall Meeting and Community Forum, the Fruit Tree Replacement Program, the Seniors Market Nutrition Program, composting projects, and beekeeping training and colony building. On the youth commitment, we did have in summer of 2019, we had a summer program at the Department of Agriculture. We intend to do that again in 2020. We had a STEAM agriculture program. We have a summer youth technical skill attainment internship opportunities where you can learn various skills on agriculture. The student community service youth engagement, this is where resume building activities. And we were very happy and honored to have been able to support the Future Farmers of America's organization in their recent trip to Indianapolis, where they participated in their annual convention. We are committed to generating the next generation of farmers here in the territory, and we can only do so by building the interests of young people. So we, the department, is truly committed to not only working with the Future Farmers of America, but also other youth organizations such as the 4-H Club and any youth organization that in particular who might be interested in the agri-sciences. We are we are developing the First Lady's Garden in St. Thomas. We're restoring that to be a beautiful garden and a practical garden where there's going to be various type of produce in there as well. The agricultural grounds, We want to let the public know that the agricultural grounds, in particular in St. Croix, it is available for rental and usage. And so is the Bodo Farm in St. Thomas as well. These are locations that can be rented, that can be utilized, so long as the activity is aligned with the focus of the department and we feel it's appropriate. You can rent that space from us. It's a great central community location, and we are encouraging organizations in the territory to consider the Department of Agriculture grounds as a place that they can rent or utilize for your activities. That brings us to the end of the information we wanted to share, and we too are now available for questions from the media.
Thank you, Commissioner. Sorry. Do we have any questions from the media?
Yeah, good afternoon. Brandy Brooks, Daily News. I have a question for Commissioner Nelson. Speaking of the grounds being available for rental, I'm not sure if this has been addressed before, but all those damaged buildings that's on the St. Croix grounds, has anyone spoken about what's going to happen with them, whether they're going to be repaired, demolished? What's going to happen with those buildings?
The buildings are being repaired. The administration building is to be repaired. The forestry building is going to be demolished. The administration building is going to encompass the activities that was in the forestry building. The garage, the roof needs to be repaired, and it will be. And the marketing building, the roof also needs to be repaired, and it will be. The deadline, I can't give you timelines. You know, we have to go through the channels. We're dealing with federal funds and contractors and all of the above. So to give a timeline, I'll be making it up. But we are trying to have the roofs on the marketing building and the garage building at least fixed enough to accommodate the activities of the fair in February.
Spoke a little bit about what's happening at Market Square in St. Thomas, but you didn't really provide details, so I just want to know.
Yeah, I left that intentional so that you can ask questions. My deputy commissioner is going to tell you what's taking place.
Good day, Khadijah Blyden, Deputy Commissioner, Virgin Islands Department of Agriculture. Thank you for your question. The Market Square Interagency Task Force was spearheaded by Administrator Avery Lewis of St. Thomas, Water Island. This group was formulated specifically to address some regulatory matters in addition to taking ownership and ensuring that we take our responsibilities, clear our space after the use of the market on a daily basis. Agencies including DLCA, VIPD, Department of Health. We also had DPNR that represented that day. Most agencies gave their, again, educate before we regulate was the objective of that meeting.
Okay, good afternoon. Susan Ellis with the VI Source. I have a couple of questions, and they're sort of almost similar. The first one is about your residential gardening program, and how would people go about selling their produce to the marketing department, you said?
They come to the marketing program and register their plot, speak to Mr. Billy Abraham. Once they're signed up, when their produce is ready, they come bring it, drop it off.
So they just register at the agriculture?
Yes.
And then the other one had to do with, how about selling the hospitals and schools? What kind of a program is that? I know we have a little bit going on, but is this farmers or?
It's a similar process. It's to the Department of Agriculture, and then we redistribute to Ms. Collingwood.
Good afternoon, I'm Diana Collingwood, the Assistant Commissioner of Agriculture. As it relates to selling the produce to different entities like the hospitals, we have the Harvest of the Month program where farmers are encouraged to grow a specific product, and even backyard farmers, and even not necessarily that product, but they bring the produce to the Department of Agriculture. We grade the products and we pay the vendor, the farmer, and then we resell that to the hospitals. And that way we can have a bulk as opposed to individual farmers having small quantities. That way we can maximize how much we can sell. And we do sell it to both the Wang Louis Hospital and the Roy Snyder Hospital. We do weekly shipments, especially to St. Thomas, as it relates to produce. Thank you.
Oh, that's very interesting. And so how do people go about registering for that program?
Well, essentially, you can contact us at the Department of Agriculture. The Commissioner mentioned our Director of Marketing, Mr. Billy Abraham. He's available. He can reach out to us, and we would be glad to look at the produce and purchase it. We have several programs within the department that they can take advantage of. We have a lot of trainings as relates to pest control and sustainable organic farming, and they could be part of that and just come into some of our farmer meetings, and that would be ideal. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any additional questions? Thank you. That concludes our press briefing for Monday, November 18th. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks.